been a few days since I just decided to get my first ever proper girlfriend. And I didn't do this from a position of weakness, as I think the vast majority of people do. What do I mean from a position of weakness? From my experience, when you go on Tinder, OkCupid, or bullshit like that, you are chosen. You're not actually putting yourself out there. And because of that, dates, more often than not, are kind of boring, because most people are kind of boring. Vast majority of people you see parading down the street, they're not for you. Don't get me wrong, you can have a fun time with them, but long term, you won't actually enjoy them. And I think the vast majority of people just end up in relationships out of fear that they won't find someone better. And as a consequence, they end up in shitty relationships where neither party really likes each other all that much, but hey, could be worse. In the last year that I've been with this girl, I've been in a weird situation where I really like this girl. She's smart, she's beautiful, she's funny, she's ambitious, she's creative, blah, blah, blah. And because of that, I've been very unwilling to put that into danger. I don't want to test her patience in me and just have to start from scratch. Despite the fact that I've had ample opportunity in being with other people, I simply don't think it's worth it from an opportunity cost perspective. I think that bond that we've slowly built over time with each other is more worth it than a random hookup. If I go on a date, which I did like the first few months that I was with her, if I go on a date, it often just feels like I'm wasting my time, like I could be spending it with her. So I voluntarily started going down the monogamy route. So because I did it from a willing situation, I'm happy with my choice. I decided the other day when we went to an art exhibition that we were invited to, whilst we were wine and dine and seeing these beautiful pictures, I decided to ask her to be my girlfriend.
Hello.
And I'd never done that until just then. I'm 25. And it wasn't because I didn't have choice. As in, my first kiss happened when I was 19. Up until that point, I had little choice, but thereafter, once I actually started having the balls to approach, to go and to talk to people, then suddenly my life changed. All of a sudden, I started having the power to actually put myself out there, to actually be with the people that I want to be, rather than have circumstances forced upon me. But that's sort of the extent of where I'm willing to commit. I will never, ever marry someone. And you're welcome to come back to this video if I ever do and mock the shit out of it. But I sincerely think that I will never take that plunge. That's an entire video on its own topic. But suffice it to say, every aspect of my life has been complemented by her existence. I'm very happy. Now, I'm still a man. When I see people walking on the street, obviously I'm still tempted. I'm not I'm not a saint. I'm not gonna present this holier than thou attitude. But why do people do this? Well, the number one predictor of whether someone will end up with somebody else in a relationship is how much time they spend with each other, which is weird, as in, if you think about it clearly. Scientists call this time spent with each other propinquity. Now, propinquity is a very weird concept because it implies that irrespective of interest, irrespective of personality, irrespective of looks, irrespective of anything else, the number one predictor of whether you will end up with someone is how much time you spend with each other. Which kind of just seems to me like you're settling with the other person. Because if you actually had choice in the matter, if you actually had a wide range of options, why would you go with the first option that it is presented to you? It's kind of like going to a buffet and filling your plate up with the first option that you have. You only do that if you generally have no other choice, because otherwise, at the very least, you leave room for dessert, you leave room for other things. You don't just gorge yourself on bread of all things. So that's the thing. That's why I believe that if you go into a relationship, you should do it from a position of strength when you already know full well that you could get somebody else if you wanted. Before that point, if you're struggling to get even a single person to pay attention to you, do not get into a relationship, because that is simply done out of a position of weakness. And as a consequence, you will fuck it up. You will engage in needy behaviors, which just screw the dynamic of the relationship. Now go forth and actually interact with people, actually find that person, rather than being scared shitless about socializing. Take the reins of your life. Make something better out of it, rather than expecting the good things to just fall onto your lap. Hey, that's just my thought. See you next week.